The flashbacks begin.
That's too big.
Welcome guys to the JPS Podcast, and today we have something very different to what we usually do on this podcast, and we're here with Sam Schepis, co-director of JPS, and my brother from the same mother, and we're going to be talking about the origins of JPS, so where JPS began, how it all came to be, what our motivations are, and talk to you guys a little bit about our journey through the last 8 or so years of our lifting career, as well as the evolution of our business, which is JPS. So, Sam, talk to us about who you are and what your role is at JPS.
Alright, g'day guys. My name's Sam, as Jacob just pointed out to you. We are brothers. I'm his younger brother, and I'm the studio manager at Airport West, and his business partner, and have a vested interest in JPS Health and Fitness and everything that we have done and continue to do. I've been training pretty adequately for about 6-7 years now. Very mediocre bodybuilder, even more mediocre powerlifter. I'm just trying to do my thing, and will continue to do so.
So, what I wanted to talk about today with the guys was where we began. So, back in the good old days at recreation,
Glory days.
the glory days.
Yeah.
I started personal training at Recreation Health Club, and I just started subcontracting there, so paying my $200 a week rent. I was 19, almost 20 at the time.
Yeah.
Just trying to make a bit of cash on the side of my legal studies, which I haven't completed. Sam's just completed his.
Guilty.
Guilty, Your Honor. I was just working away, started personal training, didn't really know whether or not I wanted to do it, but I sort of fell in love with everything that was involved, from helping people to just training and nutrition. I really found a passion for it, and was inquisitive as to everything related to fat loss, and I probably spent the better part of 5 years just perpetually trying to lose weight and get leaner, and probably missed out on
in the best ways possible, as we now know.
Yeah, probably missed out on a lot of potential gains that I could have made at an early stage. Obviously training like a bro. A lot of drop sets, supersets, probably 50 plus working sets per session, really silly stuff. But wanted to help other people, and then got pretty busy in amongst working. Another job as a tennis coach, so I was a tennis coach, used to play tennis. And obviously I was playing VFL, Victorian football in Australia, and studying my law. So it was a little bit too busy, and I had one of my best friends, Tom Davenport, who's also, hey Tom, still working with us now, jump on board and start helping me at Recreation take some of my clients. And I started this thing, JPS, and I thought, I want to be the go-to guy for...
Remember when it was going to be Apex?
It was going to be Apex. JPS was originally going to be Apex Fitness, because I had no idea what
You can't leave now.
You can't leave now. We can't change it, can we?
No, it's been too long. Yeah.
So Tom came on and started taking a few sessions for me, and we were doing pretty good. We were doing good things. We were getting results. I've always been results focused, but client focused at the same time, like doing the best thing for the client, and we started to really fill up. And Sam was only 16, I think.
I was
17.
Yeah.
17 at the
when
time.
all that started, I was 17, and I remember Dad was not entirely approving of
personal training.
Yeah, pursuing personal training instead of legal studies. Obviously, stuck in the dogma of go to uni, get a good job, sit behind a desk, pay your dues. But you stuck at it, and he said, Samuel, I want you to do your personal training course so you can help Jacob out when he needs it.
And here we are.
5-6 years on, I'm still here, and I've finished a law degree, and still planning to continue with personal training and managing gyms and doing all that. So there's something to it apparently.
Yeah, definitely.
Break the dogma.
Break the dogma is a really good point. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go. But when Sam came on, there was eventually 3 of us at recreation. So we're all paying our $200 a week, which was $600. We're probably doing around 100 sessions a week between 3 of us. And
that was a lot. That
was a lot of sessions. At the time,
like
we were pumping, we were jamming. And I thought, screw it, let's rent a place. We'll all pay the $200 a week still, have our own place. And at the time, the other personal trainers at recreation weren't too forthcoming with us doing so well. And there was a lot of pressure from above not to give us clients and whatnot. So we thought it'd be better just to cause less trouble and go do our own thing. So after 2 years of recreation, we went and opened a small studio on Keilor Road, which was literally no bigger than this room that we're in now. And we bought all the life fitness equipment, and we had an agreement. I actually saved all the money for this studio and bought all brand new life fitness equipment purely because we used to get so many complaints at recreation about how shit the equipment was, and we didn't want that. So we made sure that we were getting good equipment, and I'd saved up pretty much most of the money to fund this venture. And I sat down with accountants, my dad, who's a lawyer. Obviously, I just started studying law, and some other financial advisors, and pitched this proposal to them. I googled a business plan and copied and pasted JPS into everything, and fudged a few numbers to try and make this thing seem profitable. And they all told me I was mad. They told me to stay in school, be a lawyer, just continue to work at recreation and make good money there. But I was pretty passionate about this whole thing, and we both were. Like, we both knew that it would work.
I think, going back that far, it's big step to take as a 21-year-old, 19-year-old to break off and put a lot of time, money and effort into it. I remember days...
It cost us like 60 grand.
When it was quiet, we'd be sitting around not doing much.
On the couch, Xbox.
Yeah, those were the days. Napping out the back.
We had a couch out the back and sleep.
Manning the studio, manning the fort until clients came in. Eventually they did. And, now we're doing...
and they will come.
Yeah, now we're doing way more sessions. We've got a way bigger, client base. We've got heaps of trainers. The family has definitely grown.
It's not just you and I anymore, is it?
And I think it's looking back that far, it probably reminds us just what a process it was, and the fact that it took 6-7 years to get to where we are, and still not entirely satisfied. There's always room for improvement. We can do better things. We can help more people.
And I think that was one of the things that sort of drove us, was just always wanting to be better. Never saying we know everything. Our systems are perfect. Our procedures are perfect.
We do know a lot, though.
We know a bit. We know a bit now. We didn't know anything back then.
Back then, yeah.
And we just always tried to get better, and improve what we were doing. Whether it was how we coached, how we ran the business, how we communicate with our clients, anything. We just tried to get better, and we eventually at this studio. So it went from me, Sam, and Tom. We eventually had 8 trainers, and we were doing 300 sessions in this little shoebox, and we got complaints from council. We got pretty much kicked out. We were forced to leave.
Which is not a bad problem to have, but definitely
it was
not ideal.
A lot of pressure at that time. So we then, I actually sold my house. So Sam and I owned a house together. I sold my share of the house so that I could buy the facility that we are now in at Airport West. So I sold my house and bought a gym. I'm the ultimate meathead, I guess.
Yeah. Whereas everyone else knows you got a door, you got a gym. So it's now he's got less doors in the house and
I got doors and gyms. And we moved across to this facility in Airport West, and obviously we made it a hell of a lot better than Keilor Road, because we'd learned from so many mistakes that we made there when we rushed
to that.
A lot of mistakes. And it's a pretty cool facility. And now we've got 10 trainers there. We do about 500, 600 sessions there a week. And only just this year we branched out and got a second facility in Port Melbourne. So for those of you who don't know, is the other side of Melbourne. And we've got 5 trainers there, and that's slowly building. So we've experienced a lot in our time, haven't we?
We definitely have. It's been quite a process. Like a lot of time and effort, man hours, planning, and as Jacob said, mistakes. Like there've been so many mistakes along the way. So many things that we can just like learn from, and hope other people learn from as well. Like in our own training, and in the way we've done things.
Let's talk about that, because I think there's so many good lessons to learn from your neurotic eating behaviours. Yeah. When Sam would not go to train or catch up with somebody.
So what Jacob's referring to is when we started, I read, what's the book?
Nutrient
Timing. Oh, God, what a book.
Who the author was.
Anyway, obviously that really stressed to me, you know, an unintelligent 18-year-old, just how important it was to, you know, pre-workout, intra-workout, post-workout nutrition, anabolic window.
Every 3 hours.
Yeah, so pretty much through my first year of university, I was like eating like a kilo of meat. Like it was an absurd amount of meat. I was like having like 5 rice cups.
Nuts.
I was having like just broccoli, because I was a very fussy eater back then as well. And like that was it, and almonds, and like God forbid you had one of my almonds, like cost you an arm.
Someone would bite your head off if you ate his.
I was like, oh, I'm a hard gainer, I can't put on weight. It's like weighing sub 70 kilos. Might have been like low 60s when I started training.
What did you start at?
I think when I started I was like maybe like 63.
And you're 74 now.
Yeah, I'm around 74 now. So it's like
mass.
74 kilos of stupidity. Yeah, so it was like I used to. But I was talking to Tom about it the other day. I couldn't train if I hadn't eaten or couldn't eat after. It was absurd. Everything revolved around my food, and that was crazy. And it was like, even thinking back to it, I was talking to, I can't remember, Tom. It was like we used to go and sit down in the cafe like 5 minutes before we were going to walk into the gym, and we would immediately smash along black. It would no doubt burn Jacob's mouth. Me and Tom sitting there looking at each other going, how is he drinking it that fast? And he'd be like going, come on, let's go, we've got to train. It's like, now knowing what we know, it's like the caffeine would have been kicked in until we got home, and then we'd be wide awake, you know, not doing anything.
Yeah.
Vitago
supplements. Yeah, I guess the biggest mistake I made was investing my time, energy, and money into the wrong things.
Yeah, I think that just sums it up.
Like I mentioned, I was pretty much in a calorie deficit, I dare say, for 5 years.
I was in a surplus.
And Sam was in a surplus, so we went on completely different scales, and we were training very similar. We would just hit each muscle
like completely
once a week, no regard for technique, volume.
Nothing mattered.
And yeah, I would do cardio, fasted every morning. I would take supplements, like they were going out of fashion. I was probably spending, I worked it out, about $400 a month as a, you know, this was like when I was 16, 17.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money.
Between us, you know, even despite like sponsorships and stuff, like we both put a lot of money into supplements, AAA supplements. We used to drive out there, you know, give them a shout out. What about like competing? My first comp. Jacob first competed, and I was like, fuck, I can do that better than him, surely. Like anything he can do, I can do better. So I was like, next year, I'll do it. And I think I was like 18 at the time. I was like, that's awesome. Like getting on stage in a G-string, like looking jacked. I only weighed like 70 something kilos when I made the decision to compete in like 16 months time. And we went through that prep together actually, and that was like, that was an eye-opening experience as business partners and brothers. Like you do some shit that not many people do with their family.
Yeah.
We
shaved each other's butts.
Yeah.
Tanned
each other. Like you get
a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, super weird.
Bodybuilding is an extremely unique subculture.
Yeah, it was cool. Like back then.
But a lot of challenges. Like we overcame so many personal.
It was I think like one of the most interesting things like for that prep is
definitely brought us closer.
Yeah, the difference in like how you had to handle it compared to me. I remember I had one of the bloody exercise bikes behind the couch at Dad's, and I would ride that like at night just watching TV because like calories out.
But that was when. Yeah, so that's really interesting because that was
that was like the only cardio I did for the entire prep, and I went from 80 kilos to 61 in 25 weeks, and that battered me for years. Like
Yeah,
I think
it's
only now.
scarred both of us.
Yeah, I think now
Yeah.
I'm only ready to probably.
That was in
compete again.
2013, 4 years later, and we're both only just starting to contemplate the idea. Not because we necessarily had a really bad experience in bodybuilding itself, or necessarily the process, but just the stress.
I think I attribute it to we got to make the mistakes that our clients probably now don't have to make. Like even then, like your first prep compared to your second prep was like your first prep sucked.
Yeah,
like
that was chicken, broccoli,
you were like super
no carbs. That was cardio 3 times a day, no training program.
And
that
then
was everything.
And then you went to more like, you know, the flexible dieting. Like I remember I was like having jelly and stuff. It's like I didn't eat vegetables until my first
was
prep.
hard. That first prep was hard.
I started eating like asparagus and stuff. I remember freaking out one day thinking I had like a tumor or something because my belly button was like now poking out and I couldn't believe it. It was like, there's so many lessons like from that prep and like...
Well, what would be the lessons that...
The lessons?
You would share?
The lessons I would share. Okay, like just like focus on your priorities, like trying to balance things. Like if you're not in the right state of mind,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
To tackle a contest prep,
you gotta have your shit sorted.
I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, it's not for, and you can't do it for someone else. You can't do it because your coach said you'd look great if you're super lean. Like anyone can be lean, but you know, doing a physique show is another level. It's pushing your body to the limits and really seeing what you can do. Obviously now there's so many different categories, so you know different ones require different levels of conditioning and again like that requires a different amount of effort, but you have to do it for the right reasons. I think doing a comp is something that you need to do for yourself and you need a solid support network around you. You can't make it on your own. We did our first prep together and like that was an experience in itself. Like we did all sorts of things that you know don't need to be mentioned, but it requires a different level of effort, and if you don't have people around you who support you and understand why you're doing it, then it just makes it so much harder to get through it. Yeah.
And you need to, like we mentioned, be in a place where you've got everything in your life sorted, because there's going to be a lot of obstacles and challenges, and you need to be able to overcome them. And definitely having someone there, you know, who supports you can help with that. You know, we had a number of hardships throughout our contest prep that made things extremely difficult. You know, we lost a family member. Our nan passed away in our peak week, in our final week.
We competed
3 days after the funeral, I think it was.
Yeah. No, we competed before the funeral.
Oh, right.
We had comps. You were going to go to Perth or somewhere.
Yeah, I qualified for the Oceanas, and
that was like a national thing for the WBFF, from memory.
Yeah. WMBF.
AMB? Yeah, whatever it was.
WMBF.
Too many acronyms. But yeah, it's like, you know, if things like that happen, how are you going to cope with it? Like, what if, you know, you lose your job? What if, you know, your partner can't handle it and they break up with you? Are you going to continue a prep? Or are you going to, you know, stop? It's a selfish thing, so you do need to be in the right place to tackle it.
I remember how hard it was dealing with clients.
Clients, like, shit. Like, bless all of our clients. Like,
especially the ones who stuck around.
Yeah, we have some really, like,
cool clients.
Understanding clients more than anything. Like, incredible people who come to us for help, but, you know, they help us and support us just as much as, you know, we do them. Like, and I think they don't... Any clients who are watching this, you don't realise just, like, how much you add to our lives and add value, you know, and we appreciate that and have appreciated everything you did in the past. Like, my first ever client has stuck with me, you know, she's still with me. Karen, I love you, but she's... Why is
there a but?
Because she's seen me at my worst and she's still there. Like, it takes a strong connection with other people to have that. You know, you lose, like, relationships break down around you. So, and especially in a business sense, like, why people would want to stay with someone who's miserable or, you know, is just so self-involved or so focused on themselves is kind of beyond me. But they did, and here we are. And now we're thinking about competing again, maybe.
Next year. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the clients and personal training. So we spoke a little bit about what our journey was
Yeah.
in competing and getting on the bodybuilding stage, we can further that as to what happened after we got into the bodybuilding. But let's talk about the clients. So from my end, I've always been client-centered and wanted results and to care for the client and do everything in my power to give them the skills necessary and the power to change their lives to achieve whatever goal they want. I guess that's been our philosophy from day one.
Yeah.
But why do you think, because for those of you who don't know, the average tenure of personal trainers is about 6 months. So we've been doing it for 6+ years.
10 times that.
And we have a lot of coaches and clients, and I guess we'd like to share with any of you coaches out there, or even if you're looking to get a coach, what we think has made us successful or makes for good coaches. So what do you think some of those things are? Why do you think we've now been in a position to sit behind a camera and talk about our small success, I guess?
I think paramount in probably any human relationship is transparency. You need to be open, honest. You can't be this fake person who especially in personal training. It is a business relationship. We all know that, and let's not pretend it's not. And if someone's paying for a service, if you just want their money, it will be abundantly clear. If you genuinely care about them, it will also be abundantly clear. People can see through that. So I think it's best, and it's one thing that we've learned, is initially, we'd be lying if, especially me, we'd be lying if we said it wasn't about the money initially. But you soon grow and learn that it can't be about that, because the money will inherently look after itself. If you do a good thing with good people, they will tell their friends, they'll tell their family, and I think there's no greater compliment than having, someone refer on family or friends, because, not only did they were that satisfied with what you did with them, they're willing to put people that they love, in your hands and your care. So I think transparency and doing it for the right reasons is the number one thing. Second to that, I think you have to have an ability to make mistakes and to learn from those mistakes. It's I've lost clients, you've lost clients, we've done, but I think most of the things we've done, are for the right reasons. Again, our heart was in it, but sometimes those things don't work out.
And you have to make a mistake.
But we've had to make mistakes. We've had to learn along the way, and you only really learn when you make mistakes. And I think you have to be willing to really throw yourself into it and learn as much as you can. But in a practical sense, you don't need to go and learn. All 206 bones in the body, 206 bones in the body. Clients don't care about that. Clients want to know what's going to help them, lose body fat. And even then, they don't really know, they don't care about what is going to get them there. They just want to know how they can get there in the quickest way possible. So I think you need to have a sound base of knowledge and just a willingness to build on that and make mistakes, whether it be in your own training or with clients. You just have to throw yourself into it and go for it. Thirdly, I just think you have to train yourself. I don't think...
It's a big one.
I don't think that, it just doesn't look good. If you don't, at least in some way, look the part, or, it's all well and good to be I competed 10 years ago, but I'm a fat slob now. It's kind of why are you a fat slob? How can you be in a position to tell me that I need, I need to lose 5 kilos if you're bigger than me? It's you need to be training, you need to be staying up to date, with your body. If you're, you can't have done every single exercise ever, in 10 years of training, so when you're programming for clients, it's you might be programming exercises you haven't done in 10 years. That doesn't make sense. How can you effectively coach it if you don't know what they're feeling, what the movement requires? So I think there has to be, to a large part, you have to test it on yourself. You have to train yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do a physique comp or, powerlifting or weightlifting or any competitive sport. But I think at some point you need to be, consistently trying things out in the gym, experimenting on yourself. So then, when things work, you can go and take it to clients. And it's a lot more sound when you say, this is something I've been doing in my training. This is also something that the literature says. We're going to try it in your next, 8 weeks of programming. Rather than, I read it in a book, so you're going to try it for 8 weeks and we'll see if it works. And, you're not really considering, Well, it just like decreases your ability to actually understand and empathize with the client.
And buying, especially.
And creating buying.
And I think they're exactly the reasons why I guess we've been able to gain clients, lose clients, keep clients for so long, and be in a position now where we're helping other trainers, make a career in this industry. And I remember when I first created the JPS Facebook page, I thought I want to be, like I mentioned, I want to be the go-to guy, and all these other personal trainers are only posting and selling packages. Like all I would ever see on social media back then, this was in a very, very, it was at the beginnings of the personal training industry, really.
Instagram wasn't even a thing then.
Instagram
would have been a thing, but it wasn't a thing we were aware of then.
No, I don't think it was. I think it's been
around for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So personal training was in its infancy, and I remember just seeing sales, and everything was about, trying to get session packages sold and things like that.
Every single person in life is a salesperson. They're either selling a good, a service, or an idea. And we didn't want to just sell a service or a good, we wanted to sell the idea. Right? And I think that's really where we've leveraged from. And that's probably that's one of the main reasons we've been successful, because we created a family, we've created, you've created something way bigger than just you. It wasn't like, oh yeah, come sign up, 10 sessions for $20. We'll take anything that we can get, sort of thing. It
was $20 a session is what I used to charge.
Yeah, but it's it wasn't just about the money, and I think we moved past that. Everyone's a salesperson. It's just about how you go about it, and I think there was some level of integrity. We didn't want to sell out, especially starting out. We didn't want to be like those other guys, just advertising packages and transformations and flipping clients, it's like an old pair of shoes. Come in, wear them, go out. Went a bit more than that. Went deeper, I think.
Yeah, definitely did. I started to I really cared and wanted to show off my knowledge, or what I thought was knowledge at the time. I really didn't know my ass from my hat back then, but I taught people what I did know, even if it was wrong. For the most part, it was helping people, and it was getting people off their ass to do something. And slowly over time, I just I cared so much about the quality of information I was putting out that I wanted to know more and to learn more and to continually be that guy who had so much knowledge and information, but not only had the knowledge and information, but could implement it in a practical sense. So
I think
that's why I started the Facebook page, and it just sort of started evolving from there. And I guess that was why people were so attracted to JPS, is because it was more than just training. It was a community of people who wanted to learn and to get better. And I guess the way you approach things really determines the kind of people that you attract.
Yeah,
for sure. The law of attraction, if you're posting out sales gimmicks and rubbish information, you're going to attract a certain type of person for the most part.
Who want the quick fix.
So we learnt a lot, and bodybuilding.
We're still learning.
We're definitely still learning every single day. And after the bodybuilding, and we'd sort of made all those mistakes, we transitioned into everything that sort of goes against bodybuilding, really. We wanted to get away from focusing on abs, biceps, chest, and take a break from obsessing and fixating on our physique. We sort of stumbled into powerlifting through one of our coaches who worked for us, now has his own facility, Vinay. So shout out Avia.
Yeah,
he sort of showed you the ropes, and then I wanted to be better than you. This was a role reversal.
That was interesting. I remember when we were just doing mainly body comp stuff at the time, and I think he deadlifted, and I was mind you, this 2 years into training, 3-4 years into my own coaching, and I'd probably just done never a full depth squat.
Yeah, we didn't full depth squat.
I don't think I ever deadlifted.
We never deadlifted until.
And I saw it, and I'm like, "What's that? Is that weightlifting?" And
he laughed.
Yeah, he laughed, and he said, "No, it's powerlifting." And he'd seen me bench press, and he was just new at working with us, and he was kind of like, yeah, you're pretty strong. Like, you should give it a crack. And I'm all for lifting heavy weights. I'm like, don't worry about the abs. I'll try and lift, 250 kilos sort of situation. So, yeah, I got into powerlifting. As I said, very mediocre powerlifter, but I'm trying.
We came second at junior nationals.
Was it third? I don't know. I'm
pretty sure we came second.
Might have. I don't think there was many people competing. Yeah. But yeah, powerlifting is another sport that's grown like massively since like I first started this like 3-4 years ago. Since then, I had bilateral hip arthroscopies, partial amputation of a finger. I had setbacks. Like I had shit stop me from
pissed me off, so I cut his finger off.
So it was like my first comp. I think I went like 6 from 9. I think that's the best I've ever done. 6 from 9, which is not something I advocate to my clients. And then when I started powerlifting. Then I had like a year off with surgery. Did another comp. Wasn't too great, I don't think there. Actually, no, it was. I think I went from like 522 to 580, something total. Then Jacob got on board to powerlifting, and obviously
I had to beat Sam.
His legs are jacked as shit, and natural strength. Obviously, different weight classes, so I have a higher Wilks. Thank you.
It was interesting though, because when I got into powerlifting, it was still a little bit underground. It wasn't as popularized.
Powerlifting has been popularized by like just literally like
everyone
the amount,
in the industry.
everyone in the industry, like people like JP Couchy, Carl DeFalco, those guys who kind of they were at the sport when it was really starting to gain momentum, especially like with social media and stuff. Like you see these people, squatting heaps of weight, bench pressing heaps of weight, and
interest. Yeah,
I think interest in lifting heavy weights is
increased for sure.
Definitely something that's cool.
Because no one lifted heavy when I started.
No.
It was all about abs and biceps. It was very much a
just
different focus
for me.
And when I got into powerlifting, I actually decided like 18 months before my first meet that I was going to do powerlifting. So I prepared for the
Which
best
is what
part
you need to do, kids.
1.5 years.
Plan.
Because I squatted partial reps. I'd never deadlifted before.
What did you squat? You squat anyway. He took to it like a duck to water, and I think
250 squat at 81 kilos. 160 bench.
160 bench.
And a 252 deadlift.
252
I can't deadlift, which is why I'll never deadlift again.
So a few weeks ago, I beat his deadlift. so
Sam's got me now. But I guess the important lessons that powerlifting taught me that I didn't initially learn from being a bodybuilder was how important like training and programming is. Like technique, understanding anatomy, the functions of muscles.
I think one thing
like just following a program like consistently, periodization. Like it taught me so many fundamental concepts of training that I sort of knew about through bodybuilding, but didn't apply because you can get away with so much more in bodybuilding.
You just grind in bodybuilding. That's what we did. That's all we knew was to
work hard,
keep training, like,
and that's what makes good powerlifters, I guess.
Keep training and just keep grinding. If it felt tough,
keep pushing,
suck it up and go.
Have another scoop of pre-workout.
And absolutely right. Powerlifting was like the first time I really followed like structured programming. It was like I still have programs from when I first started, like benching like 80 kilos. It's like nearly, benching 1.5 times that for the same amount of reps sort of situation after like 4 years. It's like they were fundamental skills that we were missing out on because we hadn't done that. And
I think they both complement each other because
they do. I don't think
the bodybuilding teaches you so much about nutrition and mindset and like how to build like mental fortitude and like to stay disciplined, which I think a lot of powerlifters don't have. Which I think bodybuilders have over powerlifters for the most part.
Definitely.
Especially at a recreational level. Like anyone who's competed in bodybuilding, even at a recreational level, has had to have been disciplined for months on end.
Yeah.
Whereas powerlifters sort of have more leeway because it's only like an hour in the gym. Yeah. But I think the powerlifters have so much to teach the bodybuilders, and I think doing both for me as an athlete and coach was definitely the best thing I could have ever done.
Like, I just think there's something I've definitely noticed of late is like so I'm competing on Sunday for those you don't know. I'm assuming none of you know.
This might not go out. This may not be retro.
Yeah. So I'm competing this weekend, and one thing that I've like really picked up on in the last probably like 4 months even, is just managing fatigue. And like, it's one thing that you really don't pick up on in bodybuilding, because it's kind of like, everyone just tells you you're going to feel shit, you're going to feel tired, like everything is going to be harder. Life in general is harder. I remember like...
You just get used to dealing with
it. You just like kind of just grind and you just keep going, and that's okay, because that's what bodybuilding is about. And powerlifting, conversely, is like really about fatigue management. Like, it's a performance-based sport. It's not about how good you look, because like the better you look, the worse you probably feel in bodybuilding.
And powerlifting is always the opposite.
And powerlifting, yeah.
The better
it's
you
like,
feel,
if you're feeling great, you're probably going to perform better. So it's very important to like manage fatigue, and it's something that, you know, has become really abundantly clear to me of late. Which is like really important. It's like, if I hadn't have done powerlifting and continued to push my body, you know, I've probably never felt as good for a prep. I've always been injured. Like, there was an entire prep that I spent box squatting and only squatted before junior nationals. I only squatted 9 squat sessions before I competed at junior nationals, like to full depth. And it's like, I just wasn't managing my injuries anywhere near as well as I should have been. I was just pushing because that's what I thought I needed to do. That's what I knew. That was all I knew. So yeah, like, definitely both complement each other. And like, yeah, there's no reason people can't do bodybuilding and then, you know, in the off-season powerlifting. But I don't think like cutting weight classes and changing too much is a good idea. I think, you know, you should be, you know, pretty constant with at least some sort of goal, like a long-term goal, not like chopping and changing.
Yeah, you have to be consistent with whatever you're working towards.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm in the complete opposite now. I sort of hang up the Borat suit October last year when I finished nationals, and knew straight away that I was going to get back into bodybuilding. So everything sort of changed. There was, you know, no more deadlifts.
Yeah,
there was just
focus.
The focus was shifted completely, and, you know, I wasn't sort of in between one or the other, trying to catch 2 rabbits and
get
none. So I guess that was something that's important, is just knowing where you want to go. And on that, where do we want to go with JPS? That was one of the other things I wanted to talk about today. Like, where are we taking this shit?
Well, I've got to go on squat soon. I've got to deload. Where do I want to be? Okay, that's a good question. It's probably something I haven't really thought about. Where do I want to be?
See, like, in JPS, just to give everyone an understanding, I am always thinking so far ahead and so ambitious.
Jacob's the kite, and he's allowed to fly in the wind, and I'm the rock that keeps him
Samuel
grounded.
is the reins and keeps me...
I get to slap his hand when he goes for the cookie jar.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
that's why I'm very aware of where I want to go. Well, Samuel's probably not so...
Where do I want to go? In what sense? With my own training? With
JPS. With JPS. Where are we going?
Well, I'd like... okay.
World domination.
I'd like to think that we're going to rival Pitbull. We're going to be Misters worldwide. One day.
That's like that.
Yeah, I think. Thanks, Mum and Dad. No, hopefully, like, we can take it there. Like, I think, you know, it's just a matter of, I want to take it as far as we can without diluting, you know, our core values and our quality and the things that we do and the things that we're known for in a positive way. And I want to really work on getting rid of those, you know, those weaker points. You know, making sure we have, you know, the best information. You know, we've now got like guys behind us who like
physios,
we got
exercise scientists.
Yeah, exactly. We got like Lyndon. We've got like physios. We've got people there. We've got a support network now who they're in it. They're part of the family. Like, they are like going to help us get to where we want to be, the next level. And they're going to be there for the ride. You know, and we all make it. Like, if one of us makes it, we all make it, sort of situation. So I definitely want to continue progressing forward with those guys, just making, you know, what we do, getting better at it, and, you know, hopefully expanding to a point where, you know, we can, you know, who knows, be worldwide, be internationally known. Like, you know, we want 3DMJ wants to be the JPS of America, sort of situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as far as my training goes, where do I want to be? I don't know. I keep looking at my calves going, they haven't grown since I was 17. Yeah, it was like, I think Brad Loomis put up a photo of his calves?
Jeff
Put up a photo. Yeah, Jeff put up a photo of his calves. 24 years of calf training, and it looks like he's got some decent calves. So
There's
touch back in 24 years, and hopefully I'll have some half decent calves. But yeah, training. I just want to be jacked and strong. I think a couple of milestones that I want to hit, like in comp, and then I can probably take a step back and focus on some more physique goals. Whether I compete or not, I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely fussed, but I just want to. I don't want to finish my studies.
Yeah.
Like I want to get that done, so I don't have to worry about
formally finish your degree, but you've got to do your
practical legal training
stuff now.
It's super practical and very training.
And I, on the other hand,
what
have
do you
no
want to do?
qualifications.
Don't need them. Qualifications are just a piece of paper.
It's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Where do I want to be? With JPS, I would like to be able to help more people. I think we've got a lot more to give and offer than just being only in Melbourne. I think what we do is pretty special, not only from how we do it, but the people we have doing it. I think if we can continue to find the right people to do what we do, we can have a pretty positive change, not only on the quality of personal trainers in the industry, but definitely in the general community as well.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. Like, it's something. So I find myself in this interesting like position. I was speaking to Lyndon about the other day. It's like lawyers are so highly respected. They're like, people go, oh, it's really hard to be a lawyer, and it is a well-respected job, whether or not people like lawyers. And then personal training, on the other hand, people have this like, there's a huge stigma attached to it. It's like, you're a PT. It's like, I don't want to really be associated with a PT, and it's kind of like, I have probably skated through a legal degree, with the same amount of effort that it takes to get through, personal training course. The difference is one just took longer and one cost me way more money, and there's one that I enjoy significantly more. I think, like what you just said before is like I would love to see like us and like people like us bring up the reputation of personal training and coaches, like to show that we're not like a laughing stock. We are professionals. We are good at what we do, and we will continue to do that, and kind of break out of that stigma that is attached to the industry, because there's so many shit personal trainers out there, but there's also so many good ones.
Like in the industry, that's the other thing I wanted to touch on was providing a place for personal trainers to
and to educate other people
to work and to learn how to do things properly, and learn from all our mistakes.
And by no means we aren't perfect, and we're still learning ourselves, but I think between us and the team that we've got, we've definitely made plenty of mistakes. We've learned from each other's mistakes, which is like a privileged position, because at other gyms it's a lot more competitive. Yeah, you're a lone wolf, you're a lone shark. You are against everyone else. Whereas with us, we're a team, and we get to help and learn from each other, and provide this environment. And I know you want to as well. Like keep providing like environments, around Australia, around the world, around the local area, so people can continue to come in, learn, be educated, and again, just like literally raise the standard of personal training. And I'd like to see Australia not be like in a complete disarray as far as health like concerns goes, but that's a pipe dream. And I think one step at a time we can slowly get there with the right people and the right attitude.
Yeah, guys,
I'm deep. And
Sam is really, really deep. That's as deep as I've seen Sam go, because his squats are very shallow. But thank you, Samuel, for coming on. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of the JPS Podcast. Make sure you give it a like if you took something from it. And subscribe somewhere down there. I really appreciate everyone listening and hearing our story. Thanks for coming on, Samuel. I don't know why I call you Sam. I call you Samuel. Have done for all of our life.
The entirety of my life.
Guys, thanks again. We'll speak to you all next time. We might even do a part 2. We're yet to decide. But
maybe.
Thank you.
If you can sit me down. Thanks, guys.
That was good. That was...
We're fucking awesome.